Welcome back to Columbus Brick by Brick, the show where we uncover the people, projects, and ideas shaping the future of Columbus, Ohio. I'm your host, Jon Styer, broker and owner of Styer Real Estate Professionals, a boutique brokerage built on helping agents grow thriving, scalable businesses through personalized coaching and hands-on support. Each week, we sit down with the entrepreneurs, leaders, and change makers who are laying the foundation for what's next in real estate, business, and community here in Central Ohio. And today's guest is doing just that in a big, bold way. I'm joined by Ryan Miracle, Senior Loan Officer at Ruoff Mortgage, the founder of Agent Launch, and now the visionary force behind Rebel 2026, a movement designed to disrupt the burnout, the scripts, and the hustle culture that's wearing down too many agents and entrepreneurs. In this episode, we get into Ryan's incredible journey, from launching his lending career during the 2008 crash to helping thousands of families find home ownership in Columbus. We unpack the story behind Rebel, the values it stands for, and why it's not just another conference. It's an experience. We talk mindset, we talk clarity, we talk leadership, and we dive into how Ryan is building spaces, both on stage and in coaching, where business owners can get out of survival mode and rediscover alignment. If you're feeling stuck, burned out, or ready for more, this one's going to hit home. Let's get into it. Well, Ryan, thank you so much for being on the podcast. I'm really excited to hear about Rebel and hear about you and learn more about you. We know each other a little bit, but I'm excited about getting to know you even better.
Yeah, thank you for having me here. This is my first time sitting in this seat. Usually I'm in yours.
Yeah.
So this is a little bit of a trip being on this side of it, but thank you, man. This is awesome.
Yeah, no, thanks for being here, and I appreciate it, and I look forward to learning more. So let's jump in. You've helped thousands of people become homeowners.
Yes, sir.
And you've built a powerful brand in the mortgage space, and now you're launching a movement with Rebel 2026.
Yes, sir.
I want to hear more about it, but let's rewind a bit. You entered mortgage lending during the 2008 crash. So what pulled you into the industry, and what was that like when most people were getting out or running away?
You know, it's funny that you bring that up. Like a lot of us, we don't go out of high school, we don't graduate high school thinking like, I want to go into real estate. There's a few of us that do. But like for me, I wanted to be a graphic designer and in broadcasting. So I went to Ohio Northern after graduating. From there, I quickly realized that I'm going to be getting coffee and donuts for people for about 10 years before I actually start to work on my own projects. But I was newly married, needed to pay my bills, so my wife and I moved into a house that she already owned in Marion. There was a furniture store right across the street from where we lived. So across the street from that was a Dominion Homes community. So randomly, the salesperson from that community came over before her shift, before she opened the model. And then within like 2 weeks, I started working at Dominion, and then was there during the downturn, got laid off, and then jumped over to the big corporate building at Chase off of Polaris. Me and 400 other loan officers sitting in 4x4 cubicles for a couple of years.
Well, how was that experience? I mean, I can only imagine it was a little bit trying, but you made it through.
Yeah, it was honestly, it makes what everyone's experiencing right now so much more palatable. Because like when I was at Dominion at that point, there was a community, Glen Ross, to where we couldn't give away the houses. And there was 3 houses in particular that we were offering $50,000 realtor bonuses on top of the regular commissions, and we just couldn't move them. So like the fact that people are still buying houses and the demand is still there, just not as much as what it has been, it makes everything right now so much easier. But like for like new agents, new loan officers coming in, like I couldn't imagine the stress that they're feeling right now.
Yeah. It's hard to get started at any time in, no matter what's going on in the market. Well, so Ryan Miracle in year 1 of your career, how is he different than the person that's sitting here building Rebel today?
I actually remember going into my very first Dominion sales meeting, and it's like, oh, I hit the big time here. And if you've been into a sales meeting, you they're all the same. But at that point, I was just newly out of college, and I didn't know nothing about nothing. So like the learning how to be resilient, learning how to learn from your failures and not just dwell on them. Like if I had to go back to 2001 Ryan, I would say just learn the skills that you need to do, and you're going to keep ratcheting up as the years go. But like nothing, you're not going to die from real estate.
Right. It's not life or death.
No. So it's stressful. This is probably one of the more stressful occupations, but like you're going to be okay. And it's just made me more resilient to where right now it takes a lot to shake me.
Yeah. I believe it. You seem like a rock steady guy.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. Okay, well, cool. So what was the turning point that made you realize that real estate and the business community need something radically different? What got Rebel started? I'd love to hear, first of all, like, what is it?
Okay.
Right? And what made you realize that you were the one to build it?
Okay. So going back to the start of COVID. So at that point, I was teaching CE with a couple of my friends, and we're doing that for a while. Then COVID happened, and then we get a call from our venue saying, hey, you guys can't come here tomorrow to teach CE. We have like 400 people, not 400, we have like 40 people coming to class tomorrow. So we had to pivot. We threw it in one of the back suites of our office, but like we put a pause on CE for a while. And then I started thinking, like, do I really want to teach CE anymore? And then fast forward to 2022, as we were allowed out of our houses again, I went to an event in Vegas called Forward by Neil Dangra, my very first corporate event, travel event. I've never vacationed by myself before, so like first time going to the airport. So I'm sitting there in this ballroom in Vegas, like completely blown away by what I'm experiencing. 1,000 people in the room. The energy is great. People were left and right of me are crying. We're hugging each other. And like I'm listening to Ed Milet, I'm listening to Neil, and just like the scope of what he put together. And Neil's a loan officer, and he and I are very akin. Like we love AV. We're nerdy. We're not the typical loan officer. But what he showed me is what was possible. So as I'm sitting in there in that room, I was like, God, this is great. I wonder what other events that I can go to. So while the event is going on, I'm sitting there scrolling on Google trying to find other events to go to. And I'm like, it's Vegas, it is Miami, it is New York, and at best, it is Chicago. Yeah. I was like, no love for the Midwest.
Right.
So at that time, on another thing that Neil, I think it was a Facebook video, he holds up this purple book, and he says, you guys got to read this book. And I didn't know anything about the author. I didn't know anything about the book. But the hook, or the subtitle of the book is Offer So Good, You'd Feel Stupid Saying No. And at that time, that was Alex Hormozi's first book that he was releasing, $100 million offers. And just the subtitle of the book alone, I was like, I got to get that book. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
And I'm a perpetual learner. I love marketing. So he hooked me immediately. And I started going through that. And like, that's the one thing that I noticed is like, okay, let me toss a question back to you to give reference.
Sure.
So as a real estate agent, as a loan officer, what is it? I'm sure you get calls all the time from loan officers. What do they typically offer you when they call you and then you don't know each other?
Coffee
or lunch. And when you get to those meetings, if you do say yes, what do they talk about?
They talk about their offering or why they're so great, why you want to work with them.
But it's all about them. So for an agent, getting those calls, that's probably one of the worst offers that a loan officer could make. It's just like, okay, well, if I'm reading this book and I am tired of getting doors slammed in my face as a loan officer, because I was the coffee and lunch loan officer for most of my career. So reading that book, I was like, I'm missing an offer. All right, so what do agents need? So I started talking to you guys. I was like, okay, so they're short on social media. They need some AV. They need to learn how to market themselves better. That's stuff I already love doing. So let me see if I could put something together. So my first event that I did, kind of a micro event compared to what Neil did, was with Lauren Lucas, and we talked about doing video. And filled the room over at Goosehead. It went well. People were happy. And I was like, okay, there's something here. And as the event was ending, before the event happened, I realized that, okay, so if I let this event end, and it just ends and there's nothing to follow it, then I've completely wasted all those relationships and the good juju that I grew during that event. So it's like, okay, so what comes after? And I'm watching Neil have all of his courses and groups, and I was like, okay, well, maybe I could do that. So what I did was I looked at all the things that agents struggle with, kind of synthesized them into like 4 or 5 categories, and then did a 4-week, like 16-hour workshop where I brought agents in for free and learned so much about marketing, positioning, what you guys need, how to teach better. But that was the birth of Agent Launch. And then did that for 2 years. I ended up running 16 workshops, had over like 150 agents come through that, where I got to spend 16 hours with these people. So that helped me it helped me reduce my stranger danger with them.
Yep.
And so that was kind of the birth of Agent Launch. And then, like, as far as Rebel, I had been trying for years to pull off a big event in Columbus, and I failed over and over. Since 2022, I've failed multiple times, begging corporate just to give me $50,000 to put on this event, bring in speakers. Always fell on its face. And then Justin Phillips called me. He said, I know you and I don't know each other very well, but I have an idea.
Mm-hmm.
I have Glenda Baker on the phone, on the other line. Do you have 5 minutes? I was like, wait, what?
Like, good thing you picked up,
Glenda Baker. I was like, yeah, go ahead and do it. And he's like, okay, Glenda, I have Ryan on the phone. We want to bring you to Columbus. And I'm sitting here just listening to this. I was like, wait, what?
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, yeah, tell me what we got to do. She was lovely. But like, Justin kind of pulled me off the bench. And from there, we pulled in Nick and Craig. And, oh, God, like the amount of like the weird puzzle pieces that we are as a team, and then their spouses Ashley and Katie too, like the weird puzzle pieces all fit perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
And like last year's Rebel event, 400 people, sold it out in 70 minutes. It was just confirmation that an event like that would work here. There is a demand for it, and I couldn't have done it by myself. So with the 6 of us, we were able to oddly work together, and we covered pretty much everything we needed. And it took so much stress off of me, and it made it happen for them. And like, it's amazing.
You know what I love about that story is that you told me you were trying so hard. You said, I was trying so hard. I failed over and over again. Mm-hmm. And then you changed it to we succeeded.
I couldn't have done it without them.
I love that.
Yeah.
I like that. I just like to highlight that.
Yeah, well,
because that is something that I know in my experience is that you got to lean on people.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Well, neat. Thank you.
Of course.
Well, speaking of Rebel 2026, and speaking of, you mentioned CE.
Yep.
You have said that this is not CE.
Yes.
You know, it's not about scripts or it's about or the hustle. What you said is about clarity, confidence, and control. Why those 3 outcomes?
So, looking out of my frustrations, my failings, and just talking to agents and my peers, I started realizing that like every year, and this came out of like business planning for like the next year.
Mm-hmm.
So I started realizing like, okay, so if you haven't done business planning, you got to get into that. But if you have done business planning, inevitably someone's going to ask you, okay, so what do you want to accomplish this year? And you kind of back into it. Okay, so I want to do YouTube this year. I want to do door knocking. I want to do this. I want to do this. I want to do this. But it's never taking anything away. Mm-hmm. It's always adding more. So on top of family, on top of production, on top of transaction coordination, calling clients back, whatever. So each year we're adding another spinning plate or multiple spinning plates. And as a team lead, as an agent yourself, trying to grow a business, like by adding more stuff to your plate, no pun intended, like what is the efficacy of doing any of that really well?
Mm-hmm.
It's not great,
right?
Because you are a novice at most of the things that you're adding, and then you're squeezing yourself for more and more with less and less. So what we notice, like on the clarity piece, is like everyone's running in a million different directions, myself included. Once again, this came out of my own self-awareness.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, this is not sustainable. So like instead of adding like the newest and greatest thing that's happening this year, like AI is a big one.
Mm-hmm.
So like, God, I got to figure out AI now too.
Right.
So why don't we just focus on what actually works and kind of going a level deeper? So like in my house, it's myself, my wife, and my 2 daughters. So we spend a lot of time talking about how your brain works. So we have a lot of neurodivergence in our house.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're not familiar with neurodivergence, there's neurotypical, which is people that don't have ADHD, autism, dyslexia, or whatever wrinkle that they have. And then neurodivergent is people who have those, I wouldn't call them conditions, but what we've learned is like, as I'm sitting there trying to help my daughters with their homework, like the way that my brain works is very different than the way that their brain works.
Mm-hmm.
So sitting there thinking on the clarity piece, like, okay, if agents don't need to be doing everything all the time, that's great. We're going to help clear cut what they don't need to be doing. And then the confidence piece, like, I want to learn how your brain works and I want to teach you how your brain works. And let's just do what you're naturally good at. And then what was the third C?
The third C is control.
Control. Okay. So now that you have an idea of like what we teach at Rebel is like, who's your ideal client?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then how do you get your ideal client to say yes? And that's making them a lead magnet or an offer. Okay. And then the last piece is the control piece is like, how does your brain work? Let's mark it that way. So once again, not throwing shade at Keller Williams, but like in Bold, are you familiar with Bold?
Not significantly.
Okay. So I've never taken Bold, full transparency, but I have a lot of friends that have taken Bold. And
Mm-hmm.
one of the things that you have to do as an agent taking Bold with Keller is you have to make 100 phone calls to your database, your friends, strangers, before they will allow you to graduate Bold. So for someone like my girls who are scared to death to talk to strangers, is that helping their confidence or hurting their confidence? But like my daughters can pick up piano and just by listening to a song.
Wow.
So like for agents, if it is against your own nature to make cold calls, to get on camera, to get up on stage, then don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't force it. But you are naturally God gifted in something. Let's just find out what that is and spend all of your time there.
You are speaking my language 100%.
Beautiful.
That is the exact type of conversation I have all the time with real estate agents. The way that we do it here is we do a disc analysis.
Yeah.
And then everyone's different. You know, if you're going to tell someone there is one size for everybody, most people aren't going to fit.
Yeah.
If all I'm preaching is this is the way that you generate leads,
Yes.
most people are going to fail.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you can do it for a little bit, you can power through, but you can't build a career on that.
Absolutely.
You gotta enjoy what you're doing so that you can be consistent.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're consistent, you will get your results.
I couldn't have said that better. And like, it's sustainable.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I had a conversation with another team lead here in town, maybe about 2 years ago, and I was just like curious. So, how much time do you think agents spend? In Rebel, we call it green time, which is money making. Money's green. So, how much time do you think the average agent spends in green time every week? He said, "You're going to laugh at this, but I've actually done some research," and he said, "It's about 30 minutes a week."
I believe that.
30 minutes a week, and it's no wonder that agents are struggling to feed their families and can't figure stuff out. But like 30 minutes a week, and I started, why is that? And he goes, they won't do the things they need to do.
Mm-hmm.
So going back to the Bold thing, I was like, if they're being asked to make 100 phone calls every week and it is against their nature, they're not going to do it. And I think that, like, I'm not throwing shade at any coaching program, but I think it's very dogmatic, most of them, because they tell you this is the way. If you don't do it this way, you will fail. And actually, I had a workshop that I ran, and I had an agent tell me that he was not allowed to pay money to be part of that workshop, another coach's workshop, because he has ADHD. So he has to go figure that out first, fix it, and then he can come back and pay for the workshop.
Wow.
I was like, shots fired, man.
Yeah.
And that just tells you that, like, it is like the whole coaching thing, the whole mentorship thing is, I'm sure there's a lot of good intentions and good coaches out there, but like if you're not helping your people where they are,
Mm-hmm.
dude, there's a huge miss there. And like to answer your question, we noticed that, and we're going the opposite direction.
Yeah. Well, I mean, again, I'll repeat myself in that you're speaking my language. If you're saying there's only one way to be successful, then you're trying to sell me something.
Mm-hmm.
You're not trying to help me.
Right.
And so if you're trying to help me, then like you said, you're going to meet me where I'm at.
Right.
Yeah. Poignant.
Thank you.
You're an energetic guy. You've got a good
Thanks, buddy.
aura and talk to me about how do you envision the energy of Rebel? What do you see this looking like for attendees?
So going back to other events that I've been to, like here in town specifically, like a lot of our mantra is like, what is everyone else doing? Let's go the opposite direction.
Mm-hmm.
So like when you go to events, they're usually very quiet when you walk in. Like, okay, guys, let's get started. Or like a Zoom call. Okay, guys, we're going to get started in like 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And like you can go to events that are like huge, like cheerleading sessions, and then there's no tactics.
Mm-hmm.
So like after you leave, you're like, oh, that was amazing. But like your momentum drops off hard once you get back home and you're like sitting in your desk. Okay, so what do I do?
Mm-hmm.
And you go to other meetings or other events where like tactic, and you come back with a notebook full of things, but you're like, okay, which one do I do first?
Mm-hmm.
So what we wanted to do is we wanted to ride that line. So like I think the way that I describe Rebel to people who don't know is like if a rock concert, if a business conference, and a lively church service had a baby, that's where we want Rebel to live. And that's kind of this sweet spot to where it's still high energy. You still have tactics that you can walk out of that room while the event's going on and implement them and start seeing changes. So like, yeah, just trying to find where those naked spots are in the industry and just we're going to live in that void.
Perfect. So who would you say this is for? Like who is it for? Who is it not for? Who do you see attending?
Well, I see it kind of in two different veins. Like right now, and once again, you being a team lead, I'm sure that you can see this, or at least you have the conversations with the agents around town. You have like this K-shape in the market. So you have the agents that are just killing it.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems like once you get a shuttle into space, it stays there perpetually. So virtually no effort. So you see those agents that are continuing to climb, and it seems almost effortless to them. And then you see the other agents who are struggling, but they don't feel like they fit into like the luxury or the national spot. They're not getting invited to speak on stage anywhere, but they just want to eke out a living.
Mm-hmm.
They just want to be a good person, help people, and feel like they did a good job. So like we call those people the misfits, the folks that just don't fit like the corporate mold of what you would see, like shiny, flashy. They're wearing gaiters and they're driving a Maserati. That's not most people.
Mm-hmm.
So like I noticed it out of myself. Like you will never catch me in a suit unless there's a funeral or a wedding. You're not going to catch me in a suit. I'm using you wearing sneakers, a hoodie. And like the black hoodies kind of became our marker for Rebel. And like who it's for is the people that don't fit in. They don't feel like they fit anywhere, that are looking for a community. And that's really what we want to build, is we want to build a gathering place. Because like with COVID, we lost a lot of our third places.
Exactly.
So homework, we want Rebel, and we're building individual tribes inside of Rebel for people to belong to a sub-tribe inside of the Rebel community.
I love that. And you, again, I agree with you on the third place thing. I think it was before COVID. I think the internet probably had a lot to do with it as well.
100%.
But COVID just kind of took it to another level. So, cool. Well, you're doing something really interesting, and I am eager to hear about this. You're doing what you're calling the first transmission Zoom call. And that is the only way that people have access to attend. Can you tell me about what that is, why you decided to do it that way, and what should somebody expect?
Okay. So the why, and like, okay, this is probably the biggest point of friction we have with promoting the Rebel event is like, what's the Zoom call? Is the Rebel the Zoom call, or is it an event? Or so there's a disconnect there. All right. So this is coming out of my marketing background and watching other marketers and other events. So how are most I'm going to toss the question back to you. How are most events marketed?
You'll get like an Evite, or you'll see a Facebook ad, or Instagram, something like that. That would be my expectation.
Okay, so as the event is approaching, do you think that they feel like they've done enough to sell the event or have enough bodies coming to the event?
I could see that being something that would be concerning if they don't.
Yeah. Like I've put on enough small micro events to know that like it is stressful. Like up until like the hour before you go.
I've felt that stress before.
Yeah. So like taking a page out of Taylor Swift, what I saw Neil do, like we wanted this, and I'm giving away a ton of secrets here. So if you are coming to the Rebel event, we're not using okay, we are using psychology here, but like if you're putting on your own events, like, okay, our goal is to have 1,400 people RSVP for the Zoom call. Okay. Tier 1 is the 1,400. Tier 2 is the Zoom room will only hold 1,000.
Okay.
So what leverage does that give me for getting people on the Zoom to actually show up?
They're going to want to be on time or early.
Right. Why?
Because they're going to miss it if they don't.
They're going to get locked out. Okay, so 400 people are going to get locked out. Okay. And then you have 1,000 people in the room, the Zoom room, and there's only 700 tickets available. What does that do?
Further increases the demand and the desire.
Right, because of scarcity. So we are hyper allergic to, once the Zoom call ends, to wanting to continue to sell tickets. We want to sell out as quickly as possible and then just get back to the fun stuff, which is planning, making surprises, actually like making the event amazing. Like selling tickets, hand-to-hand combat after that, it's hard, and it is not something that none of us want to do, specifically during the downturn in the year.
Yeah.
When commissions are down.
Sure.
Hey, would you pay me $100 to come to this event? Oh, no, man, I can't do it. So that's why we're doing it so early, because the Zoom call is in October, the event is in February. So we want people to pre-invest in a good start to 2026, so that way they don't have to worry about Christmas being paid for or going on vacations and having to sacrifice being able to come to the event. So that's why we're doing it now, as summer commissions are starting to wane.
Cool.
Okay, so that is why we're doing the Zoom calls, because selfishly we don't want to sell any more tickets. After that, we want to get back to making the event awesome. And it also does the social proof thing. Like, we've sold out every single year from the Zoom call. We want to keep that train rolling. Like last year, we sold 400 tickets in 70 minutes. Like so much so, Justin called me after we all left my office. He's like, dude, you got to cut off tickets right now. And then a couple more leaked through, and then we had to call the fire marshal and was like, can you please just let us have these extra couple seats that we've already sold? And he's like, yeah, fine, just no more. So we just want to be one and done, move on. So pump people up.
So was that a surprise last year?
We had no idea.
Yeah. So now you've designed around the expectation.
Yep.
Interesting.
Yeah. Now we have some social proof. We sold out in 70 minutes last year. You better be there, because we're going to do it again.
Yep.
So right now, as it sits, we have we're approaching 800 people who have signed up for the Zoom call. And once again, our target's 1,400. We have 25 days left at the time of recording this. So we're in good shape.
Yeah.
We're in great shape.
Well, once this comes out,
it lights out. Yeah. I have no doubt.
Cool, man. Well, can you take us behind the scenes a little bit? Yeah. How are you actually designing Rebel to be an experience instead of just another conference?
Okay. So have you heard of the hero's journey?
Yes.
It's a storytelling framework. So for the folks that don't know, there's this framework for telling stories, and once you learn it, you'll see it everywhere. So with the hero's journey, we basically wanted to take people who were starting at the very starting line. So like they know that there's something not right in the world, and then we're going to launch them on a journey. Like I'm going to try my best not to give too many secrets for the event, but like I'm going to be leading off, and we are going to be talking about Exodus. So like from the Bible, Moses leading his people out of Egypt. And that's in essence what we wanted to do, is we wanted to shake people and wake them up and let them know that they're just being hypnotized right now by the world, by idols, and then show them that we are here to help shake them free. And Justin's going to come in and talk about being yourself and leaning into your weirdness, which is amazing. And then we're going to be talking about other topics, and I got to stop there, talk about other topics that are just going to keep leading them in a linear path to where they can return home with the magic elixir after they've slayed the dragon to bring back the spoils that they've earned at the end of the event to their people, to their family, to their clients. So really taking them from the start of the journey with Frodo and just getting the ring to all the way where he's all the way back home a better person.
So there's going to be a room full of 700 heroes is what I'm hearing.
Yes. Yep.
Cool.
But we are not making ourselves the hero. We're telling them that they need to be their own hero, but we are going to be the Gandalf, the Yoda, handing them the plan.
Cool. Well, that's exciting. I'm eager to
I'm pumped.
check it out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's zoom out a little bit.
Yep.
The event is going to be, you mentioned, in early 2026 in February.
Yes.
I want to hear a little bit more about your experience with Agent Launch.
Okay.
You know, you mentioned there was a gap between agent growth and mindset. Did you see that made you want to build something new? Is that really what launched this, or was it kind of the happenstance? How did this all kind of coalesce?
With starting Agent Launch?
With going from Agent Launch to Rebel.
Well, so the transition from Agent Launch to Rebel, once again, Agent Launch was building its own brand, and it was built upon the gap of where agents had a deficiency and I had a strength. So I tried to live in that gap. Now, as far as like transitioning from Agent Launch to Rebel, once again, I'm bringing on, and this is kind of the weird thing about Rebel, is it's myself. I'm a lender. Justin Phillips, who currently is a builder rep for D.R. Horton, and then 2 other lenders at a different company that I compete with. So Nick Steinauer and Craig King. So like from the jump, people found out who were my partners, and like, are you stupid? Why are you bringing in other lenders to do this with you? It's like, it's not about where they work. It's about they are a fit for my weird puzzle piece. They have a puzzle piece fit that is great. Yeah. So it was more about who they are as humans. They're good men, all 3 of them. And we complemented each other so well. So like at this point, I am looking at what happens in between the Rebel events year to year. So what I'm thinking is we are going to basically take Agent Launch, and it is going to get swallowed or rebranded into Rebel.
Got you.
Yep.
Got you.
You good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so it's kind of morphing into Rebel.
Yes, because I'm learning that I can't do it without them.
Yep.
But I also don't want them to try to walk into trying to have them be part of Agent Launch, because there already has its tailwind, and I want this to be something completely unique to the 4 of us. Yeah.
And so last year was the first year.
Yep.
2026, I guess it was technically this year. 2026 is year 2. Where do you see this going?
Oh, this is the exciting part. So like watching other conferences and seeing what's possible, like our goal as a team is to bring a like legit national conference to Columbus, because we have the infrastructure, we have the hotels, we have the convention center. We can handle this. It's just a function of no one's tried it to this scope yet. So the goal is within 5 years to have 5,000 people from all over the country come to the convention center.
I love it.
Yes.
I love it. And you know, you identified that gap when you mentioned you went to your first conference. Yeah. And now here you are working to fill it.
Yeah, God's been good to us.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Good for you. That's really exciting. And so you say 5 years from now, you just see it incrementally growing every year, or will you make a jump? Or is this a test year?
Well, it's funny that you say that, because like last year we didn't know what we were doing.
Yeah.
Like I'm sitting there running the AV table, running up and speaking for an hour, and coming back, miking people, being an usher, getting people back in the room. And we're not doing that this year. So like we are basically relearning how to do an event like at a different scale. Yeah. So like a lot of the lessons we had last year were great, but the scope of this one's a lot different. So like we're going to grow this thing incrementally because if I tried to do this, I tried to do this event before I had any of the skills, before we had the skills, and it crushed me and I failed. So we're just going to grow slowly so it's sustainable. So that way the brand can grow with it. And yeah, I couldn't imagine trying to put on a 5,000 person event. No, thank you.
Yeah.
But eventually. Yes.
You'll learn lessons every year.
Yes.
And you're going to look back on this year, I'm sure, in 2 years and say, man, remember when we had no idea what we were doing? Yeah. Not that you're not going to do well, but you know what I mean? Like as you grow, you level up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we're not afraid of the mistakes because that's honestly what's helped us get this far. But like there's been, like I said, God's been good to our team and he has cleared so many hurdles that would have crushed us otherwise. But like things just are happening and we can't explain it. And it's been fantastic.
Well,
yeah,
I'm excited to see it succeed.
Yes, thank you.
Let's talk about your attendees. What do you hope an attendee may be doing differently 90 days after attending? What ripple effect are you hoping to see in their lives and in their business?
That is such a good question. And like going back to the other conferences that you and I have both been to is like you come back, you have a notebook full of notes, and then just nothing happens. So at the end, and we've prefaced this with each one of our speakers that we've agreed to bring on, it's like you have to give something away that they can execute the day after the event, and it would be effective almost immediately. So like 90 days later, we're hoping that they have like gotten each of those 8 speakers, one thing accomplished, and then from there just tweaking and changing. But more than anything, like we want to avoid the confusion of what to do next. So like what we're really teaching is figure out your ideal client, ask them what they need, give it to them, and then learn how your brain works and not just market that way. So like instead of running in a skillion different directions, chasing the newest, shiniest AI, chatbot, door knocking this week, YouTube next week, you will have that discernment. And that's one of my family's favorite words is discernment. So with discernment, you know what is for you and what is not for you. So like if you have that clarity and you know what you're supposed to be doing, it's much easier to say no to the things, which is going to be most things. And then once you see something that is for you, it's immediate.
Yep.
So to answer your question, I'm hoping that they have that clarity of, okay, so this is not the way my brain works. I can ignore that. This is not my client that I want to chase. I don't need to do that. So just having that filter, we want to help them build a filter.
Yeah.
So that way they can move further with less weight.
Shiny object syndrome is what I
absolutely
call it. And it can be difficult to, especially when you're newer or maybe you're not succeeding the way you hoped, to, like you said, filter, discern. What would you say is your North Star in doing this?
Why are we doing this?
Why are you doing it, and what would be your ideal outcome?
Personally, I love building. And this has been a maturation and a discovery process for myself personally and the rest of the team. Like, we're all trying to figure out where we fit on the team. Yeah, we fit well together, but like, what is our roles? I'm learning I'm a builder by nature. So like the media, the other stuff that you see me do, that is stuff that I've picked up and learned how to do, but like my building, like the scaffolding, the structure, I love doing that.
Yeah.
So if I could get paid to do projects and just focus all my energy on that and let Justin or Nick or Craig handle the other things that they're really good at, that would be my ideal. But for the people that we're serving, we want to build a third place, like we said. We want to give them the clarity and then have them have a livable income. Because the world's only going to get more expensive from here.
Yep.
It's only going to get harder to convince other people to work with agents and loan officers. So like, let's clear the noise. Let's shed the weight. So that way you have that discernment to know what's for you and what's not. So that way you can just get back to enjoying living. Because I think we're all here to do more than sell for transactions. Because like at the end of your life, like all of us want to look back and make sure that when we're climbing the ladder, it's leaning against the right wall. Yeah. Like I don't want to get to the end of my life and just only have to show transactions and a commission or Instagram follower. I don't care about it.
I think a lot of people get into this industry because they want to help people and they enjoy it.
Yeah.
I know that that's the truth for me. I do really enjoy helping people. I mean,
Very obvious.
we're all here to try to succeed and grow and develop. But a big piece of this industry that I think is really enjoyable is that I get to help people.
Agreed.
And so I think that you are in the same vein. So that's cool. Rebel 2026.
Sure.
This is the second year that you guys are putting this on, and you're growing. Do you envision there being anything in between conferences for people that want to be a part of the brand or the tribe, as you describe it? What do you envision that look like in the future?
We're noodling that out right now, and if Nick's listening to this, he's given me that word, and I use it all the time. So
Okay.
thanks, Nick.
Yeah.
All right, so we're trying to figure that out right now, and like one of the things that we wanted to have, using your term, North Stars, we don't want this to be a pitch meeting because like we've all been to conferences. Like the whole point of the conference is to sell the mastermind.
It just kills the vibe.
Yeah, like are you really here trying to help me, or are you trying to sell something? So like,
I already paid to be here.
exactly. So like, yeah, the Rebel event, we're going to be selling merch, but like that's just tribe ownership. But like, there's nothing we're selling. None of the speakers are allowed to sell anything. So they're allowed to offer stuff for free, but like no one's selling anything. So to answer your question, we're working on that right now. So we're trying to find where we can stick to that brand promise to where we want you to win. We're not trying to fleece you, but at the same time being able to continue to help people in between. So we're working on that right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, I'm sure it's going to continue to develop, and as you guys grow as a brand and as an organization and an entity, you'll figure that out as you go.
That's right.
Yeah. Cool. Well, that's exciting, and I'm excited to see more.
Oh, thanks, man.
Yeah. Well, let's ask one last question.
Yes, sir.
What is one truth you want every agent, entrepreneur, or business owner listening to really hear today?
There is nothing wrong with you. You are not broken, despite what the world will tell you. And you already have all the skills, the tools, and you are complete as a person, as God made you. Once again, despite what the world is trying to sell you, because that's all they're trying to do, is they're trying to sell you something. So use the gifts, use the talents that you already have. You may not have the skill yet, or you may not have the resource you need, but you lack nothing. Use what God gave you.
Perfect. Well, let's end it there. People are listening. They're going to want to attend.
I hope so.
How should they work to do that?
Okay. So once again, Zoom call is that front door. There's no side doors. And if you can make it on the Zoom call, you'll register, and then you'll show up on the Zoom call. And if you find that the Rebel event is not for you, don't buy a ticket. If you find that it is for you, we want to welcome you into the community. So I'm sure in the show notes, if you're watching this on social, there's going to be a link to it. So make sure that you're clicking on that link. Save your spot for the Zoom call, and love to see your face on the Zoom call. And if it's great for you, we would welcome you to the community. If it's not, we wish you the best.
Can you share the time and date of the Zoom call?
Yeah, so the Zoom call is going to be on October 21st at noon Eastern.
Okay.
I have a propensity to want to draw things out and make it really dramatic, but like the guys are saying, no, we got to make this real short. So 30 minutes, 45 minutes, get you in, get you out, meet the speakers. We can finally start talking about everything that we're doing. No more secrecy. But yeah, so the Zoom call will be about 30 to 45 minutes, meet speakers, get your ticket, check it out to see if it's a right fit.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to include, as you mentioned, the link in the socials. So everyone's going to be able to click through that link and join you on the Zoom call. Really excited to learn more on the Zoom call. And it's going to be a great event. So thank you so much for sharing and creating. And the rest of your team, I know, as we mentioned, you're leaning on other people as well. So it's not all just you.
Nope.
Well, this has been great. Thank you so much, Ryan, for coming on, and look forward to the future.
Absolute pleasure. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, that's a wrap on another episode of Columbus Brick by Brick, where we uncover the people, projects, and ideas shaping Columbus, one conversation at a time. I want to give a huge thank you to Ryan Miracle for bringing so much clarity, passion, and purpose to today's episode. From launching Rebel 2026 to growing Agent Launch, Ryan's work is a powerful reminder that success in real estate isn't just about volume, it's about vision, values, and building something that lasts. If this conversation gave you a spark, if it challenged you, encouraged you, or gave you a fresh way to think about your business, do us a favor. Hit the like button, follow along, and share this episode with someone in your network who you think needs to hear it. And make sure you're following us on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube at Columbus Brick by Brick, or visit us on our website, columbusbrickbybrick.com, to catch up on past episodes and to stay plugged into what's next. I want to thank you so much for listening, and as always, every brick has a story, and we're here to tell it. We'll see you next time.